So we're just out and about. We see people doing a little pro-Ukraine stuff. Well, I don't know what the fuck this is, but let's see. Hi. Hello. I've got a YouTube channel. It's a bit political and stuff like that. I thought this might be an interesting opportunity for you to speak on what it is that you're doing here today.
Very welcome to have a quick chat or whatever you want.
Yeah, sure. So what is it you're doing?
So we're Reading Peace Group.
Reading Peace Group.
Reading Peace Group. Yeah, we have a peace vigil here every Friday.
Yeah. Could you take the mask down? I can't hear you very well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. What's your name?
So I'm Peter.
I'm Coley.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too,
Sorry,
Peter.
we'll let this
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
We're from Reading Peace Group.
Yeah.
And we have a peace vigil every Friday here in Reading.
Excellent.
To say stop the war.
On a quiet Friday in Reading, a small group gathers in the town centre holding signs calling for peace in Ukraine. Curious about their message, a YouTube creator approaches to learn more. What begins as a simple question soon unfolds into a thoughtful and surprisingly balanced political discussion.
Vigil every Friday here in Reading.
Excellent.
To say stop the war in Ukraine.
Right.
And no to the invasion of Ukraine.
No to the invasion. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. So what are your thoughts on the invasion so far? What do you think?
Yeah. So I think our priority is, well, let's try and stop the fighting as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Stop people getting killed.
Right.
Try to bring about some kind of peaceful solution.
Yeah.
That hopefully will allow Ukraine to rebuild.
Okay.
Will bring those responsible for the invasion,
yeah.
Putin and his gang, to justice.
Putin and his gang, yeah.
Yeah, and also kind of help Ukraine rebuild itself.
Right, and as like a British citizen, what do you think of our government's response to the war so far? What do you think of Boris Johnson? Do you think he's done well? He's somewhat, leading the charge in Europe, I suppose.
I don't think he has done particularly.
You don't think he has? No.
The group identifies themselves as members of the Reading Peace Group, a local organization that holds weekly peace vigils. Their message is clear: stop the war in Ukraine and work toward a peaceful resolution. They explain that their priority is ending the violence and preventing further loss of life.
I think he's kind of tried to make political capital out of it without really doing very much.
I mean,
he's said a lot. He's made a lot of fuss. But he has.
We've sent troops there, weapons there,
he hasn't given
money there.
We sent money. We sent weapons.
Yeah.
We haven't sent troops. We're not sort of part of the conflict.
Right.
We're really just kind of standing on the sidelines shouting.
I think Boris has done a fair bit, probably too much, I would say.
Well, possibly, yeah. At the same time, what we're not doing, which we should be doing, is trying to engage in more of a diplomatic initiative.
Give Putin a way out, so to speak. I feel like Putin's being backed into a bit of a corner at the moment.
Unfortunately, he has painted himself into a corner.
He has, but what I mean is, with someone as kind of volatile and irrational as Putin, I feel like you need to give him an escape route.
I think you're right. It's not going to end unless you can find a way out.
Peter, a representative of the group, shares his perspective. He emphasized the importance of diplomacy and accountability, stating that those responsible for initiating the invasion should ultimately face justice. At the same time, he stresses that rebuilding Ukraine and securing long-term stability must remain central goals.
Making is Putin's not going to want to lose face. Obviously, a lot of pride is at stake,
you're right,
especially what he's telling the Russian people.
It's big stakes.
We have kind of put him into a corner. If he's not allowed a way out, he's an irrational guy. There's no telling what he might do, nuclear bombs, this, that and the other. So I do not feel as if Boris, our government, this constant speak of Ukraine and the way Boris has gone about it, he is poking the quote-unquote Russian bear.
I think Russia has said, in terms of how Britain is dealing with it, it does feel aggravated.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think there is a bit of an element of kind of poking Russia.
So any thoughts about like NATO expansionism, anything like that?
What I would like to see is, us having a plan for how we want this war to end,
right,
and then trying to get there.
What would you
When asked about the British government's response, Peter offers measured criticism. While acknowledging public statements of support, he questions whether enough has been done diplomatically in his view. Political rhetoric must be matched with meaningful initiatives aimed at bringing both sides to the negotiating table.
I don't know. That's something that would have to be agreed between Russia and Ukraine. That they will have to sit down and talk about it, basically.
Interesting.
So it's not something that me as an outsider can say, this is what must happen. Yeah.
Of course. Do you not think the Russians, the Russian state, the Russian Federation don't have a right to have a bit of kind of protection on their borders from NATO?
Everyone has the right to have security.
Yeah.
And although, in politics, it's not kind of cool to talk about this.
Right.
The fact is, if we'd have behaved differently 20, 30 years ago, and had taken a different view of NATO expansion, then we would not be in the situation.
It's good that you can weigh up both sides of the argument. I think that's a good trait to have.
Thank you. That's important.
No.
So whether you like it or not, it's one of the reasons we are where we are now.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
the conversation turns to the risks of escalation. Peter suggests that sustainable peace requires offering all parties a viable pathway forward. He notes that when leaders feel cornered, tensions can rise unpredictably. For him, diplomacy is not weakness, but a necessary tool for avoiding further instability.
Fortunately, again for Putin, we can see now Finland and Sweden want to join
NATO.
Absolutely, and that is entirely, because of Putin's actions.
Yeah.
So,
Boris is getting involved in that as well.
Russia's going to have to sort of start thinking about that and sort of talking to people and saying, okay, well, let's kind of try and come up with a security way forward that means everyone gets what they want. Doesn't mean that countries on Russian borders can't have their own security arrangements. Doesn't mean that NATO pushes right up to Russia. But at the same time, doesn't mean that Russia necessarily has any control over those kind of countries, if you're like stuck in the middle of the sandwich.
Of course, but obviously geopolitically, if you kind of look at the area, what do they call it, the Western Plain or whatnot, is susceptible to invasion. In the past, there's been a lot of invasion from that long plain.
Discussion shifts toward NATO expansion and European security. Peter recognizes that every nation has legitimate security concerns. He reflects on historical decisions made decades ago, suggesting that earlier geopolitical choices may have contributed to present tensions, even if they do not justify military aggression.
So, some would argue Putin,
hundreds
of years, it's happened time after time. Recently they were celebrating Victory Day or whatever it may be, but obviously from their side of things, they would argue that they're susceptible to invasion. There's a lot of NATO surroundings. I don't know.
But think about what things were like 30 years ago. During the Cold War. When Russia occupied all of that territory with the Warsaw Pact. There were Russian troops in East Germany and Czechoslovakia. We didn't like that, did we? So why do we think Russia's going to like it the other way? Yeah.
So I'll let you get on. Yeah, no, of course I understand. Obviously, the Warsaw Pact had a very, how can I say, focused kind of objective, I suppose, to stop Western kind of expansion into Russia. But
the dialogue remains calm and analytical. Both participants acknowledge that countries bordering Russia face complex security dilemmas. Peter argues that future arrangements must balance sovereignty with regional stability, ensuring that no nation feels threatened while preserving each state's right to choose its alliances.
I mean, these days, I feel like Russia have kind of got a bit of leverage with what's going on with the energy market and stuff like that, and I feel like they've probably capitalized on that weakness or that over-reliance from Europe on Russian energy sources.
The way I see it, I think Russia is quite a weak state, and
definitely.
This invasion is actually a sign of weakness.
No, 100%.
So they don't have military force, they don't have the kind of political or economic influence.
Of course.
So they kind of have to sort of do what's called kind of asymmetric tactics sometimes.
Okay,
So they're using all the kind of, trying to creep in the little cracks, and like you say, using energy as a weapon. And using sort of cyber attacks.
And the war, the war, patriotism, the war effort.
Destabilising.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Bit like Thatcher did with the Falklands.
Could be, yeah. So
energy politics and economic leverage enter the debate. Europe's reliance on Russian energy supplies is highlighted as a strategic factor. Peter describes Russia as a state relying on asymmetric tactics, using tools such as energy influence and cyber capabilities to compensate for conventional limitations.
So, I don't think this is going to change until we have a new regime in Russia. Which is probably going to be a long time away. But young Russians take a different view to the kind of old guard, people who were alive, when the Cold War was around, and it's only a matter of time until things change.
No, of course, this is a good point to make. Are you guys ready? What's this Reading Peace Group? Right, this is going to be seen. I don't know how many people watch this video.
That's all right.
I've got 50,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Nice.
So there's obviously some people will see it. Right. Like I said, it's very political, the channel itself. So there's going to be lots of back and forth. So I thought it'd be an interesting opportunity to kind of to video this, have this engagement.
For you,
I may not be totally clued up, but I like speaking about these things. I might have said stuff that's incorrect.
It's really good that you're.
But at least I've learned some stuff from yourself.
It's really good that you're engaging with people in the public domain.
Of course.
And it's really good that you're kind of.
Historical parallels are briefly explored, including Cold War tensions and shifting alliances over the past 30 years. Peter observes that political landscapes evolve over generations, and he believes that younger voices in Russia and across Europe may eventually shape a different future for regional relations.
I'm encouraging people to do that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So are you? So this is focused on Ukraine today.
Today, yeah.
What sort of other sort of peace
we are a peace
stuff?
group, so you know, we kind of campaign against war.
Yeah.
You know.
So what other sort
because
of?
We're campaigning against Ukraine now, then you know people are happy to support us.
Yeah.
But you know, 20 years ago when we were campaigning against the Iraq war.
Oh wow! So you guys been around for a little minute.
Then you know, obviously people were more critical about that. Then.
Okay.
But,
Oh really?
Our view is war is war. You know, we're opposed to war. We want peaceful solutions to these problems.
That's good, because when I initially came over, I thought, I saw the Ukraine flag, whatever. I've got my own beliefs and own understandings.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you to be so kind of clued up on the other side of the argument and stuff. So again, as mentioned, it's refreshing to hear. You know, and get a debate with someone that clearly knows and understands both sides of the argument. So obviously this.
The group explains that their activism extends beyond Ukraine. They have previously campaigned against conflicts such as the Iraq war and collaborate with other peace-focused organizations. Their consistent message, they say, is opposition towards self and support for negotiated peaceful solutions.
Ukraine, before this, have you had anything about Yemen, Palestine, anything like that?
We kind of work with groups like Palestine Solidarity.
Okay, good.
Have a branch in Reading.
Okay.
And we kind of organise events to talk about what's happening in the Middle East.
Sure.
Including in Iraq, Palestine.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, obviously in the Middle East, unfortunately, there's a lot of sectarianism there. It's one of the kind of troubled spots in the world.
Of course.
So, you know, the more we can do to cool things down there, the better.
Excellent.
For everyone, I think.
And if people wanted to find out more about Reading Peace Group, you're Peter. Are you the host? Are you the owner?
We have a Facebook page.
You have a Facebook page, Reading Peace Group.
Reading Peace Group.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this video probably now.
Lovely.
I'm going to share your page as well, and hopefully some more people can engage, can understand, have their say. And again, thank you very much for your time.
Buddy. Really do appreciate it.
As the interview concludes, the YouTuber reflects on the exchange. Expecting a brief interaction, he instead encountered a well-prepared and articulate advocate, while not claiming expertise. He appreciated the opportunity for respectful debate and open conversation in a public setting.
I hope you have a lovely weekend.
You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was Peter from Reading Peace Group. Obviously, I tried to share, my understanding of the conflict and what I think and stuff. I tried to trip him up, but he didn't really trip. He was very well prepared, very well versed on what's going on, at least in Ukraine. So yeah, it was a very interesting conversation to have. Again, I'm not some fucking geopolitics expert or no shit like that. So I tried to kind of say my bit. And like I said, I tried tripping him up, but yeah, he was more than ready, more than prepared. So that's Peter from Reading Peace Group. Guys, I'm going to link their Facebook. Make sure you go check them out. I'm not usually one for these sort of little protests and LGBT stuff. Like, I'm not.
In the end, the encounter serves as a reminder of the value of dialogue. In a deeply polarized world, calm discussion remains possible. Whether viewers agree or disagree, conversations like these highlight the importance of engagement, critical thinking, and the ongoing search for peace.
Not really one for that, so I went over there thinking, yeah, this is easy prey. It certainly wasn't. So as mentioned, I'm not really one for all that sort of stuff, but this guy, yeah, their member is their leader or whatever. He certainly knows his shit. Anything else to add? I don't think so. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.